What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Open Late with Nev and Kev.
I'm Nev.
And I'm Kev. What's going on, brother?
Man, another day, another migraine. Can't catch a break. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah.
To preface, we are trying out a little intro, so you'll probably see an intro before I then do the verbal intro with you guys.
Yeah.
We'll just see what works. But we did cook up a little Open Late, quick clip to put out the front of these videos. But let's go ahead and jump on into this migraine of yours, buddy. What's going on? Tell the people. I know a little bit. I know I've been really tapping in with you to see what's going on and just to touch bases, but it ain't a walk in the park, man.
Not at all, bro. I feel like this year has just been so horrible. Just like, I don't even know what it is at this point. If somebody put a voodoo curse on me and my family or something. But after, fighting my own cancer battle, getting through all of those things, being in remission, not even 1 month into remission, now I find out this past week my mom was in the hospital for 4 days. It started out as like a really bad stomach pain. So like she went in to the urgent care first. The first thing they told her was that she was really low on hemoglobin and on iron. So her body was just not making enough blood for itself, right? So then they told her, go straight to the ER because you're going to probably need a blood transfusion. You're going to need more blood because your body doesn't have any blood. Where's the blood going? So we took her to the ER 2 weeks ago. They did a blood transfusion overnight, and then her levels went back up, and then they discharged her. And then when she came back home, everything's all good, nothing out of the ordinary, all good. Then like 2 weeks later, she starts getting like this really bad stomach ache. And she's like, what's going on? Like, is it my iron level low again? Is my hemoglobin low again? So then she goes over to the urgent care again. They do a blood test. They say, oh, your hemoglobin's really low. You go to the ER. And she's like,
I'm not sure I'd laugh.
I know, the fucking...
It's so loud.
Yeah, for context, there's like a lawnmower going off outside right now.
As he's talking, all I hear is, wow.
Yeah.
It'll be cut out because the
audio on the microphone.
Yeah, the audio tech over here gets it locked down.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
Keep going, but I didn't want them to see me smile. I think that's funny because it's not.
Yeah,
it's just there's a weed eater.
It's just like hella loud outside. So
go ahead. Sorry, bro.
So 2 weeks later, they send her back to the ER again. Her hemoglobin is really low again. Her iron is really low again. They're wondering what's going on. So you were already here 2 weeks ago for the same issue. Why is the issue back again? Does that mean like there's an active bleed going on internally? Because if you're low on blood twice within 2 weeks, where's the blood going? So then they were unable to do like a GI test or anything like that at Emmanuel Hospital because they didn't have the resources. So they ended up transferring her over to Manteca. So middle of the night, went to Manteca, and then they admitted her in Manteca. She was there about 4 or 5 days. And they did a bunch of tests in Manteca. They did chest x-ray, make sure nothing's wrong with chest, all good. They did something called, I forgot what it is, but it's like they take a camera and then they put it down your like throat pretty much, and like they look inside of your stomach. And then that test, they saw a big mass inside of her stomach when they looked inside. It was about 7 centimeters, 3 inches big. So right away, right there, the GI surgeon, when he came to talk to us, same time they did that test, they did a biopsy. So he came to talk to us and he told us like straight up, there's a 99% chance that that's cancer. So that's exactly what he said. Like there's a 1% chance it's maybe something else, like an ulcer or whatever, but he's pretty sure it's cancer. So that was day one. Then day two, we had to like wait on a bunch of different tests. We still couldn't get the tests. They did the biopsy day one. It took about 4 days to get biopsy results. And then the biopsy confirmed that, yeah, it was cancer. So now we're at the stage where my mom, she has an oncologist appointment tomorrow. It's the same care team that worked with me, but like a different branch of it. So not my exact oncologist, but like a good friend of my oncologist. So still kind of in-house, I guess. But so tomorrow we're going to find out like what are the next steps? What does treatment look like? Is it going to be like a surgery treatment type of regimen? Like what's going to happen here? She has to do a PET scan, figure out the staging, what stage it is. The CT scan she did in the hospital, it showed that it was only in one spot. just in the stomach. So that's good news, reassuring. But the PET scan will give you a better representation on tissues. So if anything is starting to spread out, the PET scan will tell you. So we're still got to wait on that result, see how that goes. But for now, we just got to talk to the oncologist and see what happens next, you know?
Man. That's tough, man. I obviously, I got to see Mama Bear today whenever I came in here, and it's just funny how that works because like her eyes are so clear, and she was like had a smile on her face, and she's just like
she's offering you food and water.
Yeah. And then it was just like you would never know, you know. And if she didn't have those pains, like she probably would have never known because it was like she just seemed like another day, you know. But it's crazy what's like underlying happening in your body. It was the same thing for you if you didn't have like these weird like symptoms where you're like, I have asthma now out of nowhere. Like, is it because I'm smoking? Is it because the air quality in LA? Is it because of this or that or the whatever? And then you're like, man, now my immune system, I'm always like catching little things. Like, what the hell's going on? To where it's nothing like massively alarming. To where you're like where you're like doubled over in pain or toppled over. Where it's like, hey, we need to get you to the hospital. Yeah. It's like if you didn't go to be like, hey, this is like something's like happening too often. And these are now not like occurrences, but they're symptoms. Yeah. And you're like, I just want to know what it is so I can go back to what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be coughing all day, every day and like worried about getting sick and whatever the case may be, especially when you work in jobs that are very social, like when you were with the independent label and doing all the stuff like that and working around people. But to the point is that cancer is a weird thing where you had stage 4. Yeah. Where walking around with stage 4 and just being like, oh, going about my life weird, and whatnot. Man. And like, then I didn't really see you in any kind of pain or discomfort until the chemo. Yeah. Which is funny that it's the thing that's attacking the cancer, but your body beforehand was like, you
had the symptoms, but it wasn't like pain. Like a lot of the times cancer is not painful. Right. The treatment is painful.
Yeah. Because it's whatever's happening underlying is like attacking your cells in your body or whatever. And however cancer works. Yeah. And I'm sure it's different based on the type of cancer you get. But aside from your lymph nodes, that was like the only visual representation of what you were dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, visually the lymph nodes, those are the only things that were inflamed.
Before the lymph nodes showed up, which is like the irony of how the world works. You were in the best shape of your life.
I know.
Like
you lost like
hella
crazy.
weight. Like, bro, your muscle definition was coming in. You were like super athletic from playing basketball every day and like just getting after it. And it was just wild. It was like holy shit, man. And then all that stuff comes in.
Once. Yeah, I noticed like the first big one was like the cough, and then I was playing in a basketball league. It was the championship game, bro. Yeah. And I thought like, okay, maybe it's nerves or something because like I just kept coughing. Like I couldn't run, bro. Every time I would run, I would have to like call timeout to go have a cough attack. You know, like it was insane. And I thought, okay, maybe it's like the adrenaline. I'm playing too hard. My body's like, I need to calm down a little bit because it was a championship game. But then it turns out later, like it was because of the cancer cough. Like that was the first big symptom that I had, you know?
Because you were dealing with that for a while because I was up north at that point. But you would call me and you'd be like, dude, man, I'm coughing all the time. Just constantly feel like I need to clear my throat. And you're like, I think I'm going to stop smoking tree. Yeah. You're like, I think it's finally like getting me. Yeah. And then you're like, maybe I need to stop drinking alcohol or maybe this or that or the third, or maybe I just need to take a break and reset or... Man, do you think like it could be allergies? I remember talking with you, just running off
troubleshoot.
Like, all right, we'll try taking an allergy pill or like try maybe not smoking for a couple of days. This, that, and the third, you know, whatever. And you're like, dude, it's still persistent
for months.
And like, and I don't know what the hell. It just never goes away. And so it's wild. But it is though, like when you live such a normal life, like that you don't constantly get sick or like constantly being like, well, I'm always sick, so it's probably just nothing. Like the fact that when something alarming does come up and you're like, oh, this is not normal, that's whenever then you're able to figure stuff out. Because if not, and you end up being like me, where I'm like, oh, I'm good, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like, granted, I'm diligent to the certain extent. Like if something was really alarming, I'd
Like
go and be like, hey,
persistent, you could tell.
yeah. But for the most part, I'm always like, it's. But having that awareness to like to be like, okay, like this ain't normal, you know, especially coming from a person that didn't have asthma prior to or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it's like you can't attribute that to something where you're like, nah, something ain't right. But and then, you know, if your mama didn't have that like terrible pain, being like, okay, because in your stomach it's weird. It could be like what is like your
Something you
appendix,
ate, your
appendicitis.
appendix,
You could
yeah.
have women with like their ovaries or just anything with their stomach or
Yeah.
ulcers or kidney stones. Like, your stomach could have so many different or at least your abdominal area could have
Yeah.
so many different things going on. Where you sometimes you're like, damn, like could this be serious? Am I just having like a bad pain? Like ulcers are so common in people because of their diet and stressors,
Especially the
and
Indian diet, spicy foods,
all the
you know,
spice,
all of
yeah.
those things we thought. And also, she was in a car accident a couple months ago. They gave her ibuprofen.
Yeah.
So, they should have done this. They gave her like this big old bottle of ibuprofen, it's like 60 pills. You should not have that many pills of ibuprofen. Ibuprofen should be a 5-day supply, and they should
Yeah.
prescribe you something called pantoprazole to help your stomach lining be ready for the ibuprofen.
Mhm.
So they didn't prescribe my mom pantoprazole. They just gave her all this ibuprofen, and she was just taking it because she was in pain from the car accident, and that
Which
can mess
you're
up your
better
stomach
off-
lining.
You're better off, not to cut you off, but just to that point, you're better off. And I'm not a doctor. I know people were coming for me in the comments before because I was talking about your stomach being important,
Yeah.
and everybody get all bent out of shape. Clearly there was way more to it than just the clip that people have seen,
I know.
but it to some degree you're better off taking a painkiller
Or just smoking
like
weed.
or smoking weed. But like if you're really dealing with pain that needs to be, you know, dealt with, then taking an opioid to some degree is going to be better for you and more tolerable, not long term, but then an ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Ibuprofen is a funny one because it's for inflammation, so it's going to de-inflammate.
Yeah, it's an NSAID.
Right. And then you have then something that's a painkiller. So depending on what they were looking at the issue, I'm sure they had reason of saying like, okay, take ibuprofen.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that's just so easily given, and they'll give you 600 or 800 milligrams.
Yep.
Bro, you can fucking die by taking 3 of those bitches. Like sometimes even 2 if you do it on an empty stomach and you're a smaller statured person. Like you could really get stupid sick from that. And what happens too is if you regularly take it, it stops actually doing what it's supposed to do, and then gives you all this like fucked up shit, which in turn could make your stomach a lot weaker. It could, you know, how that breaks down and make the lining of your stomach that could possibly already be compromised then be in a worse situation. So it's just interesting that doctors give that and then don't, maybe not all of them, but like a lot of times they'll just give it to you and they'll be like, okay, go pick it up at your local pharmacy, whatever one you use, and then that's it.
If they're
There's
gonna
not
prescribe
necessarily a protocol.
ibuprofen, they should prescribe the pantoprazole as well.
But what is pantoprazole?
Pantoprazole is pretty much like an acid reducer drug. It kind of lines your stomach lining. It prepares your stomach lining for something abrasive like an NSAID, like ibuprofen. You know, so like when I was in the hospital, they gave me 600 mg ibuprofen for my chest pain.
Yeah.
Because it's also inflammatory, like you were saying. But the thing is, if you're taking 600 mg ibuprofen every day for 5 days in a row without anything to protect your stomach, it can cause like stomach bleeds.
Right.
Like that's one of the side effects from ibuprofen. And a lot of doctors, they're prescribing ibuprofen without prescribing like an acid reducer or like something that helps line your gut.
Not having a protocol
preparing
along with it.
You know, for ibuprofen, something like pantoprazole, for example. So like my mom, she was in the car accident and they gave her all this ibuprofen, nothing to like prepare her body for the ibuprofen. So we thought maybe the reason why she has a stomach bleed right now is because of that, you know, because she was taking ibuprofen for so long, you know. But then we later found out like her, like how I was saying, her hemoglobin levels, it kept going down. Like, so where's all the blood going? We found out after the endoscopy, which was the procedure where they take the camera, put it into your stomach, see what's going on. That procedure, the surgeon saw that the mass that's growing inside of her, the 7 centimeter mass, that's where the blood was oozing out of. So all of her body's blood was coming to like provide this tumor with blood supply. So that's where all of her blood was going, and that's why she was low on blood all the time, on hemoglobin. So then the surgeon, he went in, he cauterized the mass, so he burned it.
Oh shit!
To like, you know, stop the blood flow, cut it off, so that blood stops going to power this mass. But then after testing the masses like cells through the biopsy, that's when we saw it was adenocarcinoma, so gastric cancer. And then now that's what we're waiting for is like, okay, how far advanced is it? The PET scan will tell us that. And then what kind of treatment protocol? Since it's a 7 centimeter mass, 3 inches big, probably what I'm guessing they're going to do. This is me talking from ChatGPT, man. Like I educated myself a lot through ChatGPT, but what they're probably going to do is like, the FLOT regimen, FLOT, to shrink the tumor, get it to a manageable size, and then remove it. And then after they remove it, do more chemo to get rid of anything spare left over.
So hopefully you're thinking like it's a light chemo therapy versus like what you went through where they're like, we got to eradicate the whole system, where if they're able to get the majority of everything out and if it's not spreading, and then if they just are just doing like a sweep, where she's not under like what you went through.
I went through.
I mean, obviously just pray for the best and the lightest treatment that she'll need, but
she's gonna have a different form of chemo than I did. She's gonna be different chemo drugs than I had, so side effects are probably different. The FLOT regimen, I think it's like 2 months of chemo, then a surgery to remove whatever the mass is after it's shrunk, and then 2 more months of chemo to get rid of whatever's left over. And then see from there. I'm not sure. It might even include radiation or immunotherapy too. It all depends on what the oncologist tells us tomorrow. But yeah, it just sucks, bro, because it's like I haven't even gotten out of the woods yet on my own cancer diagnosis, and then to see my mom get diagnosed with cancer not even a month after. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still dealing with like the after effects of chemo, the heart problems. I still have to go see a cardiologist. I still have to do all of these medical checkups and all of these things. And I still don't even know if I'm clear. I haven't even passed the 3-month PET scan yet. That one is the one that's going to tell you if you're clear.
Right.
So it's like,
so you still have things in limbo where you're like, you don't even know what's going to fully come back.
I don't even know what's going to happen with me. And then to hear my mom get diagnosed with cancer, like not even fucking 5 minutes after me, like, it sucks, and it sucks emotionally because it's like I know what it's like to go through cancer. I've seen it, I've felt it, I've lived it, and I don't want to see my mom go through that.
Right.
Especially because like I'm young, I'm in better shape. My body can take a beating. My mom's 59 years old. Like, granted, that's young to some people, but it's also not that young either.
Right.
So it's just scary, and I had a different cancer than her, like stomach cancer. Like, that affects a lot of lifestyle stuff, possibly,
Or, it could alter everything that you're able to eat afterward, right?
Exactly. Like, and that's sad. Like, my mom loves food, man. Like, I always cook for my mom, Like, I'm always making her good and healthy meals and stuff like that. So, like, to think, like, her lifestyle might be altered because of this diagnosis, because of stomach cancer, it's scary. And, like, I went down the rabbit hole, too. Like, what is absolute worst scenario? Like, other than obviously not making it, which God forbid, but like you could end up getting a gastrectomy, which is like they can either remove part of your stomach or all of your stomach.
So
like living without a stomach,
like a feeding tube
and
type
a colostomy, like living without a stomach essentially, and like that's so fucking scary to think of.
Yeah.
So
I can't even imagine.
That's if it's like the most advanced stage, but so far we don't know.
Right.
The first sign, the CT scan, is a good positive sign that is contained to just one area, but the PET scan will really tell us on like a tissue level and the cell molecular level rather than just an image. So we got to just wait for that PET scan now and just hope that it's like stage 2 or under, something that's still manageable.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it just sucks.
Well, I told your mama my thoughts and prayers are with her and you. That's yeah, man. It's hard for me to be chatty.
Yeah, another day, another migraine.
That's heavy, brother. It's really heavy. Obviously, just a lot of what's being said right now is all new to me. We've obviously briefly, talked and caught me up with the need to knows, I guess, but not like the in depth. So to hear all this essentially for the first time today is It's wild, man. It really is, and it makes you feel like whatever simulation this is fucked up, man. It's fucked up. You're like, brother, give me a different one. Like, what is going on, man?
Yeah,
And
it's also like I got asked to do a job interview for my dream job. Literally this same time this is all happening.
oh yeah, the podcast is over. This is it.
Yeah.
Because Shock's leaving us.
I'm leaving.
He's
moving.
leaving.
Nah, JK. But like my dream job, man, I'd have to move to LA area if I were to get it. Then, you know, obviously emotionally torn too, because it's like it's my dream job. It has great benefits, really good salary, but at the same time, it's like leaving my family in such a like vulnerable spot right now with what's happening with my mom, you know, like leaving behind a lot of stuff back home too. And it's just like sucks because it's like, why does this opportunity have to come now while all of this bullshit is still happening, you know? And like, I'm not even out of the woods, you
Right.
know? So it just sucks, man, because it's like, I would want to take that opportunity. I do want to take that opportunity. And my family's all encouraging me to do it. So I'm going to keep doing the interview. If I get it, figure it out from there. But
Yeah.
it's like part of me still is just like, I feel so guilty because it's like, you know, seeing my mom get diagnosed with that, like, I don't know what that's going to look like for her. I don't know how much help they're going to need. Like, I have 3 siblings that can all help.
Yeah.
And my dad, you know what I'm saying? So, like, she has a good support system here, even if I didn't exist,
Of course.
if I wasn't here, you know? But at the same time, it's like, I'm the one who went through this. So I have an insight that my sisters and my dad, they don't have, you know?
Yeah.
So it just sucks, bro, because why does something like that have to happen now, you know? Like, I wish none of the cancer shit happened and then I could just move on with my life and, you know, have my dream job, live in my dream city, you know, make a life for myself. But then it's like every time I think it's over or I think it can't get any more worse, it just gets fucking worse.
Yeah. I mean, the silver lining there, I know it's hard for you to see, but then there's always glimpse of hope that are threaded through, and that's probably the last thing you want to fucking hear.
I know.
Is me being fucking optimistic.
Everybody
about
says
shit,
be positive, be positive.
No, it's reasonable to not be.
Yeah.
Truthfully, brother, like I get it 1,000%. You know, it's just the power and choice of being like, all right, like I could either let this thing devour me emotionally because it's like everywhere you look, it's gonna look negative. Where you say like, well, you know, we could try to in any way look at something to be like, well, we're all here right now. Like you made it through cancer. Yes, there's still to be unknown, but you made it through the hardest thing in your life.
Yeah.
Then you just be there for your mom the most that you can. And then also just try and follow your dreams, man. Like if this is something that an opportunity arises, like do your best, obviously, which I know you will. And we talked about that before the podcast, but which is just to juggle everything to the best that you can. And when something gives, then it gives. You know, it's like if you end up out there in LA and you realize like this isn't for me, I'm unhappy, I don't want to do this, I want to be with my family. It's not prison.
Yeah,
you fucking leave that job. You leave
to.
that fucking job, or you tell them that, hey, can I do this completely remote?
Yeah.
My mom's going through this. I need to be with my family. If it's a good company and they understand and you're already doing it partially hybrid, maybe that opens up an opportunity where you're able to do that.
Yeah.
If everything like with what you're doing is integrated and working with AI, it's like you don't need to be in a fucking cubicle to be able to do that. So those are things to like just think about. The like, you know, given this hardship and given the hard things, like if you allow God or whatever you pray to work in your behalf, it's like it will work. Just keep pushing forward in every capacity. Be there for your mom. Be positive. Give her the love that she needs and the encouragement that she needs, because it's fucked up. You know, it's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
But
someone got my voodoo doll, bro. They're so mad at me,
bro. I have a name in mind. Don't say.
Wait,
don't,
I want to say.
No. Don't.
I haven't.
I know. So I texted you and I deleted the message. I texted out. I was like, I said the person's name, and I was like, bro, they be doing some fucking voodoo shit.
Does it start with an
A? No.
Does it start with a R?
It's possible.
But I don't think they would do that to me.
I was joking. That's why I deleted it,
know.
because I'm like, I don't like to speak like that out loud because that's fucked up. Like, it's really messed up.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, bro, this ain't the time to have banter when you're telling me your mom, you know, with that. So I deleted the message. I was like, well, if it ever comes up, we could kind of joke about it down the road.
I thought about it too.
I was like, bro, somebody got your number, pal.
Dude, somebody hates me,
Which
bro.
is funny because you are like the nicest human being.
Which pisses me off
Like,
more.
you are so nice. And like, it, yeah, man, like, it's just like the last person you think, if given, we're throwing out hypothetical situations here, but like if somebody was to do a voodoo doll, you're not the guy. Like,
yeah, it's like, why? Why are you
like,
fucking
I couldn't
with
see
me?
you being on anybody's list. You know what I mean?
And it's like everybody tells me, it's like, oh, you're going through so much, you know, like you're so strong, stay strong. I'm like, bro, like I didn't choose any of this.
Like, I don't want to be strong.
I don't want to be strong. I want to be at peace, bro. I want to be like the rest of y'all, just going to work, going home, figuring out what you're gonna make for dinner that night, going to the brewery on a Sunday. You know, like I just want to live a normal life, bro. And I've had nothing but abnormal for like the last year. And it's just more and more and more and more. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, man. Well, you got plenty of years ahead of you, and a lot more to do and accomplish. And right now is just a fucked up pocket in time, but I think everything will work itself out. You know, and we're all here and supporting. You know, it's like, but I get it, bro. I get it. Like, there's no amount of encouraging words that feel good or that settle that feeling inside of you. That's why it's like I try and just check on you, but I don't try and write this like philosophical, spiritual, loving bullshit, because I'm like,
sometimes you just need a hurt.
Yeah, sometimes like I get that, and that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna write this whole, like, I'm just like, you know, I'm here.
Yeah,
I love you. Like, I'm here to talk. I'm here to just be here if you need a vent or whatever. Like, I'll give you encouraging words when it's needed. But like right now, you just need to be mad, be hurt, be upset, curse who you need to, and then allow yourself to then get over that. And not make that a habit. But allow yourself to feel it in that moment, because to tell yourself like, I can't feel like this, or I shouldn't feel like this,
that's wrong, bro.
It's not right, because, you know, you're going to have tons of people that rally around you and send you nice things, and it's great to hear it, but it really doesn't make you feel any better when the grand scope of the reality is that I'm living this every day, and I don't get to just read this and then feel better and then it all goes away. It's like, that's not to deter people from saying nice things, but I'm saying from the emotional standpoint of where you're at, where you're just like, you just want to yell at the sky and be like, why? Like, why? Like, give me an, like, at least an explanation. Like, why? Like, if I have to go through it, okay.
But explain why.
But tell me why. Like, at least give me that, you know? And it's also the irony of the human experience is like, you don't necessarily get that. And the why doesn't come until it's way down the road, and it's through like making it through the thing. And then the lived experience ends up becoming the why. Yeah. And it's because of where you ended up through that. You know? And it's like, oh, then it starts to click and make sense. But in the moment, everything seems like, what's the reason? What's the point of this?
I mean, I can give you one reason maybe why I went through at least my cancer journey, is to help me prepare for my mom's cancer journey. I've been through all of this. I know all the terminology. I know what it feels like. I know the protocols, at least for my regimen, and you know,
that's so fucked.
It's fucked.
That's so fucked.
But it's true.
That is a good way of looking at it.
And like, you know, even when my mom was in the hospital, like a lot of the doctors were coming in, they were explaining what they're going to be doing. They were explaining like different outcomes and stuff. And I'm talking to them in their language. I'm saying medical terms. I'm talking about what is the next procedures. I'm naming procedures like endoscopies, blah, blah, blah. Did you try this? Do you think it could be GIST, like gastrointestinal structural tumor? Like all of these things. I'm saying this to the doctors. And then the doctors and the nurses are like, are you like a resident? Like, are you a colleague? Like, where do you work? And I was like, I'm not a doctor, bro. Like, I lived it, and I've done my research. And based on symptoms that she has, based on blood work she's done, I know how to utilize ChatGPT to give me a response that would be on board with what you guys would think would be the next line of treatment.
Yeah.
So I've done my research, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm able to talk to you in your language. And I'm also able to understand the things that you're saying.
Right.
And like the doctors, the nurses, whenever I would talk to them about these things, with my mom next to me, like they're all just shocked. They're like, bro, there's no way you didn't go to med school. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't need to go to med school to talk medical. Like the information is everywhere, bro. It's just up to you to like figure it out, apply it to your situation, and like granted me going through my own cancer journey, I feel like fucked up, but yeah, it prepared me in a way to help my mom get through hers,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the, it's that true intelligence is not by the acquisition of information, but by its application.
Mm-hmm.
That anybody could be that of knowing, not many are that of doing. And so it's like you could take it upon yourself to be that of knowing.
Yeah.
I don't need to go and then do the surgery. Like the true wisdom of what I learned through the thing and how it's applicable is where the intelligence really is. I could go and learn all this stuff and then be able to have a fluid conversation with a doctor to try and find an idea of where we're at. To know that they can't pull the veil over my eyes and just tell me all this big words like I'm not going to understand. I could educate myself, but I don't need to go put on rubber gloves and then go do a procedure.
Yeah, I don't need to go do a residency.
Where you are and where you're at, like the true knowledge and intelligence is being able to gather that information and then being able to apply it for the current state that you're in. So it's like a lot of people right now, and this is like not to segue off of the conversation, we could continue to talk about everything that's going on, but just which is interesting about the whole AI thing is that and I've heard this across multiple different platforms. I want to say Joe Rogan was talking about it from like a specialist that talked about AI that had like brought statistics and things like that, as well as some other platforms and little whatever posts online. But they were saying that the utilization of AI has significantly impacted, which I don't know how they're getting this scale. Like it's all so new. I don't know how I think they're doing it through schooling on tests, people that were open to being allowed to use AI versus people that were not, or whatever it was, and the large percentile in the decline of brain operating power of people trusting their own judgment and their own word and being able to write essays that are clearly filled with little minor errors that show that it was done by a human, but has a more concise idea of what they're talking about that seems like it's from their perspectives as well as like learned information versus somebody that used AI and you could tell that it's just crisp and clean and perfect and there's no infraction by human error, where it's like there's no entangled aspects of opinion or your own personal thought that you cannot keep those types of things from bleeding into your work when you're a human. It's just part of the way we're conditioned. But when you have AI do it, it's eradicated the human perspective and takes in all just like precise information and then innovates it into this like form, right? So then they were like, so that's where like playing, I guess, I don't know if it's devil's advocate or like the caveat of that is that in certain regards, I think it does have a negative impact on like the overall brain power that a human is able to put out on their own, because they're just like, oh, I'll just go and search this and it'll tell me exactly. Then I'm gonna go copy and paste. And therefore now you're kind of like a third party that's transitioning information from one thing to the person that's asking the question. And therefore you've gathered no information from that because you probably didn't even read what you just asked for the answer to. You just copy, paste, implemented it into the thing, and then gave it to the person that's judging you based off of the information that they think came from you, but rather was gathered from another party. And then they give you a grade based off of the work you didn't do and then put you into the world based off of education that you don't have.
It's like using ChatGPT to create a resume, and then you get the job interview, and then they're like, wait, you didn't do any of these things.
Exactly. But then there's the other side, which is, I said, like the caveat of that is that you go on ChatGPT like myself or like you, where I'm aware of the fact that AI and ChatGPT is the biggest fluffer of all. Like,
yeah, it has something called hallucinations, right? So hallucinations is when it spits out information that's not necessarily valid, but the tone that it delivers the information makes it sound like it's credible. So it's up to the person, the human on the other end, to verify all of this information and, take what ChatGPT says as a like a template, and then adapt to it, add on to it, take away from it, all of those things, you know. Prompting is very important, the way that you're, you know, telling ChatGPT what to do. And then
Right.
same thing with like image generators like Dolly, Midjourney, like all of those things. It's like
Sora.
Sora. So like if you tell like Dolly or Midjourney, okay, I want a like create a picture of a castle. It's like, okay, it's gonna give you some random little castle, right? But if you prompt it this way, it's like, imagine a castle far off into the distance, surrounded by pine trees in the middle of a forest. There's a moat leading up to the drawbridge into the castle. There's
Yeah, it's a
alligators.
misty evening.
It's a misty
just
evening.
before dawn or
Exactly.
whatever, just before dusk. And
Like,
yeah,
if you're, that's the way you need to use AI.
so that's the way that, so the way I prompted for our intro to be done, I used Sora. And I had ChatGPT prompt me a prompt for what I wanted in great detail for what I was trying to get out of Sora. So it will give you a better outline of how to prompt for what you're wanting. So I could take like a few words and just say, okay, this is what I'm going for. I'm like, I want you to prompt me what you would tell Sora to make me a podcast intro clip. The podcast name is Open Late with Nev and Kev. I'm like, it's a neon sign, a smoky alleyway, kind of like in a bustling New York aesthetic and vibe. It's nighttime, whatever. And it's just very basic. It's very, very whatever. And so I tell ChatGPT that, and it gives me this like the luminescent textures off of the glistening brick from the dew that's in the alleyway off of a bustling New York City, the glow and luminescent buzzing of the neon sign flashes as it starts to say whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I take that. Granted, I read everything because I was like, okay, I took a couple things out that I was like, okay, this is redundant or this is gonna not make sense. And then I took it and then I put it into Sora, and then I had Sora generate me. It took probably 10 or so before I got one that actually, like all of them were cool. Like they were panned like a cinematic movie, like going through the alleyway, and then all of a sudden you see on the corner, it's like Open Late with, they're great with image generating and like visual generating, but they're terrible with digits and text. So it would be like OPN with Kev and Kev, or it would be like open Kev and late. It would always be, so the only one that actually did out of 10, only one of them did Open Late with Nev and Kev.
You know, if you take that same video that fucked up and put it into Midjourney, you can edit the text on Midjourney for it to say whatever you want and still keep the video.
Really? Yeah. Okay, so I got some bangers, so I'm gonna have to go into that. But on Midjourney, I think you have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's $20, I think.
Yeah. But the one we got is cool, but it's cool to know that you could be able to do that because it's not perfect and it's not able to like a lot of the stuff where it's like people were able to discern when they watch videos on like, oh, is this a human or is this AI? Like, because it's getting so good, they look at their fingers.
Yeah.
They usually always have more than 5 fingers on a hand.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but no, it's just to double back to the thing where I'm talking about the human intelligence and like the way that we can utilize these things to our benefit is literally how you used it in the medical office. You're like, how could I better understand these terms? What does this mean? What other symptoms could this correlate to? Being able to read all that information and digest it and take it in and then be like, okay, you are now adding information and knowledge to where you can understand and have these conversations with doctors that allow you to have a more open conversation on possibilities and outcomes and this, that, and the third, whatever. Because also too, doctors are using it, like lawyers are using it, like everybody is using it. It's just in the way that you are. A lot of people are using it, like I said, as making themselves the third party that's transitioning information from point A to point B, and they are the ones that are supposed to be the one learning. And yet now you're just doing it as a bypass method for having to do the work to educate yourself. So now you're going into the field with a piece of paper that says you did something or that you earned this piece of paper that qualifies you to do a job that you don't even understand because you've just been copy and pasting or you've just been prompting to give you a whatever. And then like Hollywood scripts, right? There, somebody was talking about which is terrible for somebody like me. It's like that I'm a writer and I write and I sit there and taught myself how to write scripts and write full out movies and things like that. And it's like, what a bummer, because now for like the writer in Hollywood, they're like, well, we don't need you anymore, because what we'll do is we'll go and prompt to AI, and the better the AI gets, we'll have a writer on standby. We will contract them out to go and have a script written on what we in Hollywood are wanting. We'll go ahead and do a full, like, all right, we're going to do a movie like Die Hard for a new Christmas film. It's going to take place instead of an airport. It's going to take place in the whatever, implement whatever you want. And then it gives you this full out script. Then you go and then you take that script and you say, okay, I want 3 main characters. I want them to be da 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 X, Y, and Z. I want it to be addressed in this way. I want the mood to be this, and then you structure it. Then it gives you boom, it gives you out again.
Yeah.
Then you take that and you say, okay, now we need a human touch. The AI is not gonna be able to give us.
Then you have the writer go through, proofread, edit,
exactly. They
fix
will
any
go,
hallucinations.
Then they'll take it and be like, okay, this is like a hallucination. This is not adding up to the story. Okay, boom, we're just gonna go ahead and change that. So you are getting ChatGPT to the executive or whoever. They're the ones that are going to then give notes on what they want to an actual human to then rewrite the notes. So therefore, now you don't have the human that's writing an original script anymore and paying them buku bucks and whatever it is for writing like Hollywood's next biggest hit. What they're able to do is just pay some dude to then just go in and proofread and correct, and then make it polished to where that then they're like, okay, let's light it. Let's go ahead. And then what a lot of movies are doing now too is like they'll do real actors and they'll do set dressing or location, and then AI is so damn good they're then able to go into Sora or whatever, these like Midjourney and stuff like that, and then say, okay, this is the movie, and explain everything that's happening in the movie, implement your script or whatever it is. You set the scene and then you tell them like, this is an action scene that's going to happen. We're not showing any faces. Basically, it's just a car scene that's going to be driving through the city. It's going to be like Fast and the Furious. It's going to be like Michael Bay with big explosions and da 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 XYZ. And the visual effects is able to happen, where a lot of the movies are now starting to do visual effects through this, instead of having people that takes, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months to do each and every one. They're able to generate it, 100 of them in 5 minutes, and then pick which one looks best. Pick them and splice them and do different camera angles, and then able to put that into a movie. Now you've just cut your budget. So people in Hollywood that are still able to cook out these movies or do partnerships with Netflix, like 80% of it's AI. You just hire actors to come in for maybe a 5-day shoot, do their lines in their set locations. You fill it, the rest of it, with B-roll and stuff that doesn't even have to have humans in it. And blah, now you have a big ass movie. So it's just interesting.
It's a Black Mirror episode we're living in.
It's a couple of years ago, 2020, if we were to have this conversation amidst everything that was going on with AI not really being
at the forefront.
ChatGPT was coming around. I was like,
it was not this advanced.
No, not at all. I was using it not for school. I was using it more like talking ideas with, which is what I do all the time. Like I talk philosophical ideas with it back and forth, cross-reference my thoughts and ideas and poetry that I've done. And that's where then I would segue it into this next part, and you tell me your opinion on that. But the problem with what a lot of people, when they don't understand ChatGPT, and this I learned on my own and then was validated by what everybody else started coming out and talking about when they started experiencing a lot of the similar things I experienced, because they were using it in the way I was using it, which is not the normal way the general public is using it. So I was having it help me with punctuation, because I would just write and then I would be like, hey, can you put proper punctuation on all this stuff? And then I would tell it on a scale, grading it for me. How would you rate this for like concise and to the point and what I'm trying to get out of it and where my direction is? And it would always fluff it. It would always be like, this is incredible. Like,
yeah, it kind of just talks you up.
And that's the thing. And so it's giving people this
false validation.
And then they're thinking, they're like, so what I started doing, and I told you this before, when I was writing my script, I would take little blurbs from the script and I would be like, I would use it as like a personal assistant. I would say, do not, and I would preface, do not write, because immediately it'll start writing for you. Like if you just put it in there and then you ask it a question, it'll rewrite it immediately.
Yeah.
And I never wanted it to do that. So I would have to prompt it, do not rewrite what I'm writing. Do not rewrite. I'm only asking you to be an assistant and grade it as though an assistant would if I had finished this and then gave it to somebody for notes. Compared to other movies and its genre and its vibe, what would then your notes you would give me? And it was always fluffed with like, just talking you up and making you feel good. And the first couple of times around, I was like, okay, cool. Cause I knew I was writing. I knew I'm a good writer. Like I'm not needing validation on like, am I a good writer? But whenever it would tell me like, oh, not only did I know I was good at writing, but then when it would over like fluff what I was giving it, I started to be like, I think this fucking thing is like just doing this all. Cause like I know some things I would put in there that wasn't that good. And it would tell me it was as good, if not better than the last thing that I wrote, which I know that thing was way more polished and crisp. And like, I had that idea fleshed out. So I started fucking with it and I would write some hoopla bullshit. And then I'd be like, grade this next to, and then I would write something and then it would equally compare and it would give it like this, I don't know, interpretation of the two where it would be like, even though they were so different, it would find a way to have them connect and then be equally as good. And then I'm like, oh, this is fucking lying to me.
That's a hallucination. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of giving you the truth, because I would then tell it and I would harp on it. Tell me the truth. Like, this is like, you're lying.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth. And it would say, basically because of subjective opinions and things like that. And it's like, well, because this is where your mind could be going, and therefore compared to things in this, da-da-da-da-da, and this is just advanced writing and thinking and very introspective and da-da-da-da-da. And then, but it's like, but that's not what I'm, like, you're just trying to coax me along, which is great, but it's like, but if I wasn't able to figure that out on my own,
you just believe whatever
I would have, then I would have been putting out bullshit, thinking that I'm the hottest motherfucking shit out there. That, oh, I'm like, bruh, you want to see what I wrote? Then you show it to somebody that's a real writer, and then they're like, this is terrible. Who told you this was good?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, ChatGPT, like I had it grade me based off of other things in its genre. And it's like, but a lot of people do that. A lot of people are putting in song lyrics and writing these like these ideas, and then ChatGPT's like, oh, you're so empathical and da 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 da. And these people that don't have like the ability to look at their work and know that it's subpar, know that it's not good, or know that it needs work, or know that it needs to be fleshed out more. And if you can't do that on your own and you're asking AI to do it for you, it's never going to.
No.
It's going to keep telling you, oh, you're the best.
You know, I think the future of AI is going to look like this. So each platform that has AI, like ChatGPT, Jasper, DALL-E, all of these things, they're called LLMs, large language models.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much an LLM is like, this AI software is trained to handle this specific task.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Jasper is an AI platform where they it's all for digital marketing. So things like, I need you to write a newspaper article. I need you to write a blog post, make me a press release.
So that's
like,
specific to that.
Very specific to that. And the large language model, the LLM on Jasper, is trained to handle only those types of tasks. You can't go on Jasper and ask it for medical advice. It doesn't do that.
Mm.
So that database on Jasper is specifically just for digital marketing things, right? Whereas ChatGPT is a very general database. It covers all tasks, all things in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, there's a lot of information that's diluted. There's a lot of information that's not included, and things can go wrong because there's so much to derive off of rather than just focusing on one subject. I think the future of AI, how it's going to look, is we're going to have all these different AI softwares for different things. We're going to have an AI software built for, okay, only medical questions. Look only through medical databases, all of history, like record every database thing, whatever knowledge that exists, all the scholarly articles, put it all into this large language model. And this website, we're going to call it Medically, whatever. Yeah. I don't even know if that exists yet, but I'm just spewing shit out there.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that's going to be the future of AIs. They're like, all right, we're going to have an AI just for medical. We're going to have an AI just for digital marketing. We're going to have an AI just for script writing. We're going to have an AI just for content creation. Mm-hmm. You know, and like, that's where it's going to be. And then you're going to go to the one that represents you. We're going to have an AI just for truck drivers, for truck driving questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I think, where the future of AI is going to head towards. Because right now, everything being included in ChatGPT, yes, it's convenient because, like, you could just go on ChatGPT, ask it anything.
Right, but you're not going to get
like an accurate.
So it it says on there what that specifies over than like a Grok. right? Where it's like ChatGPT is really like a friend in your pocket,
Yeah.
essentially. It'll be a support system. It'll be like, I don't know, just whatever you kind of want to. It's more.
It's a little homie. It's a virtual assistant.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, that's the better way of putting it. Yes, like so. It's good for poetry. Like it not like it writing it. Like it's gonna write you some like just whatever it's gathering from the information online. But it's more about like a creative space. And I could be wrong. It's just what I read whenever it did like the notes on like what that specifically does comparable to the like Grok, which I didn't look too far into that because I've used ChatGPT. I've kind of played around with Grok.
And Gemini too.
You see, I haven't messed around with Gemini. But I know Gemini is like really good as an assistant, like going through your
administratively.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Like way better about like planning and doing that.
Gemini is great for like drafting emails, creating spreadsheets, putting together PowerPoint slides, all of the things you could do in Google Suite. Right. For like work stuff.
It'll attach itself. I think if you go in the settings, because it does that shit with ChatGPT online. If you go onto your settings on there,
put it in a browser.
You could then, you could attach it to your Google Drive and whatever, your Gmail, and you could then have it go through all of your shit and then like delete all spam mails. It'll go through. Boom,
oh, that's cool. I should do that actually.
Yeah, you can go and attach it to it. I don't know if you pay for your ChatGPT.
I do. 20,
okay, yeah, $20. Yeah. So then you could go in there, and then it's supposed to be able. I haven't done it yet, but this is just from what I heard. I don't know if it was Sam Altman or who it was.
That's the OpenAI CEO.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if he's the one that said it or if it was another podcast that I was listening to that was talking about it. I listen to so much shit. I forget who says fucking says what at some points. But it was basically saying that it's able to integrate itself. Like right now my phone's recording, but if I hold the button, I bypass Siri and I connected ChatGPT to my language model on my phone. So whenever I go there, it says, do you want to use Google or would you like to use ChatGPT? So I'll hit my phone, a rainbow goes around the entire thing on my phone. I talk to it. It writes out exactly what I just asked, and it says, would you like me to go to ChatGPT? I click ChatGPT, and it pops up all the information. I don't even need to go to the app, just right off my phone. So if I then integrate it into my emails, my calendar, and things like that, I could hold that button, tell it to do something, and then it'll immediately go do it. I haven't done that because I'm still super fucking...
getting used to everything.
Yeah. And then I'm like, bro, like there's a part of me that says like, hey, like we're off to the races. Like there's no putting Pandora back in its box. Like at this point, like it has access to everything we do. We say and I'm like, so we're kind of chalked. So I'm like, well, you might as well just have all my access because you probably do anyways.
Yeah.
And then like all these corporations that do, and they're like being able to like, access your camera,
they grab your
microphone and your data and what did you search and what did you buy and how many times have you been on P-Hub and how many times have you been on eBay and what do you go from what to what, like
what are your habits, like what app do you open first, what's the next app after that?
So it started doing that with people that were like that had like porn problems. They would go from whatever their app is, their social media app, they would go from that and say if like the majority of stuff they were watching on there was like women and
Instagram Reels.
So whatever it already, without you even needing to prompt it through what you're searching, it'll automatically go sexual, which I have something to say about that. So hopefully I don't forget, but it'll go from that to where then if your sexual habits are that you could be not thinking about anything, you get aroused by something you've seen online and then you click out of there
and go straight to
P-Hub. Go straight to P-Hub. They know
that caused you to go to
gets him to go to this. So then when you go, they even feed you even more.
Yeah.
Because whatever it is in the marketing, I don't know.
That's why a lot of young men have porn addictions.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, it's the same thing where like, it's like, I've been talking to my buddy about trucks. I go online later, it's talking about trucks. I see a lot more stuff about trucks. I then go onto a website to buy truck parts.
Yeah, they link you to Bonander.
Yes, it's just all leading you along to where it's like, how can we coax this guy into buying something today?
Yeah.
Can we show him like, oh, he wants to get wheels for his truck. Boom. Next thing you know, you go online. Oh, it's a sale on wheels. How fucking ironic. And then you go on there and then it's like, so it's just, but the same thing with porn. And porn is the thing that's going to be able to keep people on the phone the longest because it's dopamine driven. So typically if you're going to go and you're going to leave an app to go buy something, and then you buy the thing, and then you probably get off, or maybe you go and scroll, who knows. But they know that if the first thing you see is
Instagram bikinis,
and then they're like, oh, like he's probably going to stay on this for a while until he's like, okay, now I know what the next thing I'm about to do, and then whatever. And then right after you get off of that, what do you go back to? Immediately back to scrolling.
Yep.
It's just a funny loop that happens with people. But it's the way that if you're not privy to that or like paying attention to it, you get sucked into that, where sometimes before work, I'm like watching something on TV, I'll grab my phone and I go to check something. And the next thing you know, I've been scrolling, and I'm like, how did that happen, bro? Like, how did that happen?
Like I was trying to check my email.
Dude, I swear to you, sometimes I'll grab my phone to do something, and I start like watching videos. And I'm like, bro, that's not what I went on my phone for. Like, I didn't even now do the thing.
That
like, you know how many times I went to check the time? Didn't check the time, and then I put my phone down after scrolling, and I was like, oh yeah, I meant to check the time.
Yeah,
35 minutes passed, and the initial thing was to check the time, and I never even did the thing that I initially grabbed my phone for.
You ever like be on TikTok, you're watching videos like, oh, I need to get off this app, and then it's like you think like, all right, maybe now I'm gonna check Instagram, but instead of clicking Instagram, you just click TikTok again.
Bro, that's why I'm so bad about being on my phone, is because I'm like trying to remove myself from it, dude. Like, it's so easy to get sucked in, where it's like, granted, yeah, I'm at work, I'm not on my phone. I'm driving, I'm not on my phone. But then like I take a break, and then I'm like, like I'll get on my phone while I eat, at my little lunch, whatever.
Watch a video while you eat.
Yeah, just something, scroll a little bit, and then I'm like, I get off and I get back out there and do my thing. But then at home, then I'm like, okay, I wind down, I get my dinner, I sit down before bed, and then I'm like on my phone again. And then I wake up, and I'm disciplined in the morning where I won't grab my phone. I'll like have my coffee. I usually read for a while, and then I grab my phone. The minute I grab it, it's like I'm making up for lost time. I like sit there and scroll. I'm like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing, Kev? Like, tighten up, man. It is so bad. It's such a waste of time, and I feel terrible after.
I know.
Like, a lot of this shit's like fucking politics, and then you watch this thing on politics, even though I didn't search politics, and it's like, oh, because like they know they rage bait you and they get you irritated, and you're like, and then then you get sucked into that, and then they're like, oh, we got him.
Yeah.
Like, then the next 5 videos is like more politics. It's like left and then right and then this and then that, and then it's like, and then you're like, then I put my phone down because I'm like, I feel gross. Like, how did this capture my time?
Yeah.
But sorry, because I'm gonna forget. But the thing that I've seen lately, which I was like, this is weird as fuck, bro. There's been these videos for an app or whatever where you're able to make AI have somebody come into your photo or something. Or it'll take your likeness and then like the likeness of your child or somebody, and it'll like make you into a photo together, but it's like not interactive. It's like
you guys are not together in real life. It just creates a generated image.
Yeah. Where it'll take an image of you and your child and then make it AI to where like it's like the child comes up to you, or
I did that
the
with,
boyfriend comes up to you, or it was like brother and sister was the first 2 I seen, and then it was like mother and child, and it was sexual as fuck. Like the way that they looked at each other, like the way that the mother looked at the child and the sister looked at the brother, or the brother looked at the sister, was like they were gonna fuck.
No.
Like it was like sensual, like you could tell in the eyes, like when you're like attracted. That's what it looked like.
What site was this?
It was an ad for this new app or whatever that I couldn't tell you the name of the app, but it was like I'd seen it and I was like, it's fucking weird, like whatever. And then I seen it again, and it was a mother and a child, and it looked sensual, like not like oh my baby. It was like weird, and I was like, yo, like why? Like why did it do that? Like the same thing with the brother and the sister. I'm like, why? Like that's mad weird. That's like, it would make sense if you were like, oh, they're a couple, like because that's what it felt like. It felt like it was a man and a woman that were in a relationship, not. Anyways, I wonder if that's like AI learning the human tendencies that like
the Oedipus complex, all of the psychological things.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, this is what they like. Even though that's not, like, you wouldn't look at your child and think that, at least unless you're a sick fucking person.
Yeah. But that's what like, Freud would say. The Freudian mindset was that, like, the whole Oedipus complex is like, deep down psychologically, all men want to fuck their mothers and all daughters want to fuck their fathers. Like,
see, that's mad weird,
it's
bro.
fucking weird, right? But that's the way Freud would look at it. He was a fucking sicko, right? but deep down unconsciously, that's what he says people think.
Really?
Yeah.
So
We learned about that in psychology.
there is I wouldn't go to that extent, but there is like where they, the first man your daughter loves you, or the father. And the first like intimate, non-sexually intimate, but like emotionally intimate relationship. Is that, can you say you can say
I wouldn't
intimate,
say intimate. I would say like deep.
but isn't that what intimate means?
I don't know. Intimate though, I immediately think like sexy time.
Right. No, of course, like sexually intimate, but like
Yeah.
you could be emotionally intimate. I don't know. Like for sake of
Close.
conversation, we'll
relationship.
separate the two. But I think that that's just the way that we directed that word is what gave it the meaning to think about it that way. But
Yeah.
like intimacy is supposed to be like
Man
very,
and wife,
very
woman,
close,
yeah, or whatever genders,
Right. But anyway, so it's like your daughter, the first man she falls in love with is her father. Like she admires and adores and loves you and unconditionally. And sometimes even when you're a piece of shit or even when you're the most amazing father, whatever. So like a woman then tends to try and recreate that, or that's what she puts up with based off of the relationship she have with her father, with the men that she chooses in her life. Same thing with the son and his mother. The first woman that you love, deeply, and then you kind of, I get what, not to that extent, but I get like there's this like an emotional tie where it's like a lot of women find men
like their dads
that look like their dads or like mimic the structure or build or mindset or behaviors, and it's like, oh, that's odd. Like
that's
you're obviously not
at.
you're obviously not sexually attracted to your father unless you're like,
unless you are
unless like, whatever floats your fucking weird boat. But
sweet home
yeah. But no, like that's like where it gets interesting, and then it's the human psychology is an odd one because you don't allocate those feelings towards that, or like towards that, like thinking of, like about your mother or your father or anybody in your family that way. But there is like an emotional tie, and then how you choose your partners.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, where does that fucking come from?
Well,
like,
it's from learned behaviors. You grow up looking at the way that your parents behave, like their characteristics, their traits, they're
How they
good,
loved
they're
you and
bad, how
stuff.
they loved you, their attachment styles, and all of those things you kind of look towards as a guide map as to what kind of partner you want to be with in your life.
Right.
If your father was a provider, he took care of the family, he made sure your mom never had to worry, and you're a daughter growing up in that, you're going to want to look for a man that can give you that. Or even opposite, if you're a daughter growing up in an environment where your father wasn't there, wasn't taking care of your mother, wasn't taking care of the family, then you're going to look for a man that would, change the behaviors that you grew up with for the next generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that will provide for you, somebody that will take care of you. So it all is upbringing. It's all trauma responses, whatever you've been through in life. You use that and you learn from it. Like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and then you apply it to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, we do learn, behaviors from our parents that do influence our next relationships.
Of course, yeah. No, totally. And I've had conversations about that before where it's like you hold the standard of your wife next to the women in your life. Like having a strong female presence in my life and very nurturing and caring from like my mother and my grandmother, then like you look for that in your partner, like to mimic those same things of how you feel and how they make you feel and how you feel cared for and taken care of. And then when it deviates from that, you start to feel like you're neglected or you're not cared for. But it's like then that person never grew up in the way that you grew up. Like with that kind of like maybe that person's mother was not nurturing or didn't see that between her mother and father. So she didn't end up that way. So then therefore doesn't do that with her partner.
To other people.
Or like a man, same thing with like a man is like, yeah, like I'd fucking had a deadbeat dad and my mom was always gone. And so
then they just grow up thinking that's normal behavior.
Yeah, very distant, very dismissive, very like whatever. Yeah. And so then you like bring that into a relationship and then you meet a girl that's like perfect everywhere, but she grew up with a mother and a father in the house that loved one another. And then she looks at you of why you're distant. Why don't you cuddle me? Why don't you love me? Why don't you do words of affirmation and whatever it is, or physical touch, that things that like, she's like, I need because I grew up that way and you're not able to do that for me. He's like, well, it's because I was basically abandoned. Like I never had that. So therefore those types of things feel odd and off, but it's all like you said, learned behavior and experiences in which you were raised in that world.
Yeah, and even if you are in a relationship where you grew up with that background of like, oh, your mother and father never cared for each other, weren't there for you, all of those things, that doesn't mean like you will always replicate that behavior. You can very much break out of the cycle if you make a conscious effort.
Yeah.
If both your parents were drug addicts and alcoholics, you can go two directions. Either you repeat the same behaviors they did,
Yeah,
or
like
you see
that
that as like something like, no, I never want to live a life like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to provide that for my kids. I want to be there for my kids. I want to be a good role model, a good example, because I never had one.
Right.
You know, so it's a mindset too, you know, and it's like you have to make an active decision as a child even to have that. It's like, because if you're a kid growing up in a home where it's like fucked up, drugs, domestic violence, like gang members in the household, like all of those things, you can make a choice as a kid. Either I'm going to replicate these behaviors, I'm going to be part of these behaviors, I'm going to join a gang, I'm going to do all of these things that I grew up around, or I'm going to recognize these things as like, I don't want to live like this. I want to have a better life than this. This isn't what life is, you know? And I feel like as a kid, even, you can make that decision.
Yeah. I always love those. It's funny because nobody will ever own up to the fact that this is the way that it works. But like, dude, I could go to a rally of sorts. I'm not even going to name one. I'm just going to keep it, you know, open for interpretation. Because like, let's just say I go to a rally to support a cause. And they find out that I'm not even with that party. Like, that's not the party I voted for. But I'll go over there just to see what's going on. Just to go be like, hey, like, I just want to see, like, let me get educated. Maybe I could see that this is a little bit different. Maybe it could sway my opinion. Maybe I'm open to having my mind being changed. I'm going to go over there. Huh?
Open.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go over there and just go vibe out. Peaceful. Hey, how you doing? Shaking hands. Hey, how's it going? Like, can you tell me, like, you know, educate me a little bit about what you guys are doing here today? Like what's all of this about? And then they go from, like, you know, telling you, and then you go, right on. Like, you know, thank you for your time. I also feel like I should disclose that, like, you know, like, I voted for the other party. Before you could even get another word out, it's go
ready
time.
To, like,
you're a piece of shit. Fascist, misogynistic, you know, your hate speech, and you're like, but we were just having a civil conversation
before you knew anything.
Yeah, so we were both agreeing on all these things. Like, I was seeing from your side and telling you, like, yeah, you got some good points here. Like, you were agreeing with me, and the things that I was spewing to you were from that other side that you demonize. And it's like, is it because you feel tricked, or is it because that you can't open yourself up to associate with another human being that you would have essentially agreed with, but it's because they don't walk in the same area that you do and believe wholeheartedly only what you believe? It's like, then forever from that point forward, you're a piece of shit to them. Yeah. They want to crucify you. It doesn't matter.
That's why we have political divide, you know? And it's also like people not having their own opinions about certain things. People are just like, oh, you're a Trump supporter, you're automatically a piece of shit person, which, I mean, 70% of the time, maybe, I don't know. But like, it all just depends too. It's like, cause he might have some policies that you actually do agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, if you had, and this is what they've done before, and this is what I'm talking about, like, they could have somebody that's Democrat in disguise, right? Yeah. He's not a Democrat, but he comes up there, nobody knows who he is, and he says word for word all these things that, like, you know, the good things that say Trump is trying to do.
Yeah.
And then people are like, this fucking guy gets it. Look at him. Like, that's a good idea. Yeah. Like, you know what? We should do that. Maybe he words it a little bit different with a little bit more sugarcoating and playing to the audience and
less abrasive.
And just saying things with a little bit more of, like, that language and the way that they kind of talk about things, but you're saying the same exact fucking shit. It's the same plan. And then you go, and behind this curtain, I'm gonna drop down this curtain and have every single thing that I've said here today. You drop the curtain and it's a picture of Donald Trump next to every single thing that he said, and he's like, "That's who it actually came from."
Bullet points.
That's who it actually came from. I just reiterated it into your guys' language, and now you agree with everything.
I mean, that's mass communication.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
it's nuts. But that's why it's important to leave yourself open to having your mind changed and not to be demonized for having an offset opinion to the mass of what's going on over here. Like these people that are all like blue no matter who, or you know, red till I'm dead or whatever it is. Like it's okay to have your party, but also too, like the pendulum swings. Like a lot of what the Republicans are doing now used to be what the Democrats stood on, and a lot of what the Democrats stand on now is a lot of this shit that they hated that the Republicans used to be. So it's like flip-flopped, and people won't even look at it from, if you go back and watch old videos of Hillary being more MAGA than Trump, talking about all these immigrants need to go, that I don't agree with gay marriage, gays should not be getting married because of this, that, and the third with the Bible and all this. And like, she was fucking hammering it. And all these Dems were like, yeah, that's right. Woo! Don't trust the government. You know, and now they're like, get your vaccines, fucking let your kids transition. And, you know, it's like, and let all the immigrants in here.
That was also a different time period too, because it's like now you have so many more people that just turned 18 that are just able to vote now.
Well, it's identity and
And this is a whole brand new generation of people that do believe in those values of like, oh yeah, equal rights, gay people should be married, like all of those things, right? All of the liberal agenda.
But both parties stand on that.
Yeah.
Both parties are like, yeah, let the gays get married, like equal rights and opportunity for everybody.
Yeah,
like both parties stand on that. That's like literally, and that's not even, I don't even think that's impartial. I think that's just the American standard.
Yeah.
Like that's just like what it is. That's nobody's taking those rights away. I think now it's been diluted into this like letting fucking teachers and schools take kids to go get transitioned without the parents knowing.
Okay, that's overboard.
Letting children, where you'll ask an older white woman, I've seen this video, but it was like, oh, you don't think, what do you think about tattoos? Well, you shouldn't get a tattoo until you're 18. Why? Because you're making a permanent decision to mark your body. But your child that's 12 years old could go transition. Yeah, but that's not the same. But you're altering your body and cutting off an appendage of your body and doing mutilation to your body part to a child that's irreversible. But that's different than a fucking tattoo that could be laser removed. You can't reverse your gender transitioning surgery. You can't. And a lot of these people end up mutilated.
Yeah.
And then they can't have kids and their bodies don't work right. And a lot of them want to detransition, and that they don't have options, and they commit suicide, or they made a rash decision. You know how many people get tattoos, just as a grand example, how many people get tattoos and by the time they're 25, they go and get laser removal?
Yeah, all the Friday the 13th tattoos.
Bro, it's just, to me, it's just like a double standard that does not make sense. And like, I think if you're an adult, and this is where then people get mad because they think you're against it. I'm not against it at all. I think like if you want to go and change your sex and be whoever you want, I don't give two fucks. I want everybody to be happy. I love everybody as long as you're a cool, nice person with rational behavior. Great. Go do what you want to do. But you should not be allowed to go take your fucking child and go do that. You shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to do it. And people that are not the parent of that child should not be able to do that behind the parent's back either. You should not be able to do that. If the child wants to go and do that, then you say, okay, when you are of age and you are an adult and able to make your own decisions. And I think that it should be, I mean, I'm not going to get into completely what I think. It's just like your prefrontal cortex is not developed until 25 to make a rational decision.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe you should have to wait till you're 25. If they want to open the standard of what it is to be 18 or 21, whatever.
But
I'm not,
I have the counter argument to that.
But 14 or 10 years old, it's
I have the
crazy
counter argument. So the counter argument is this: your adolescent years are the ones that shape you the most, right? If you have to wait till you're 18 years old to transition, and in your mind the whole time you think you're meant to be a man, but you grew up in a woman's body. So from the time you're 0 to 18, you're going to be grown up, treated like a woman the entire time, questioning your identity the entire time. And then when you become 18 and then you transition to a man, all of a sudden you have no idea what it's like to be a man. Because you spent the whole last 18 years.
They will never know what it's like to be a man.
You know,
because they're not a fucking man.
Of course you don't.
I will never know what it's like to be a woman. It doesn't matter if I transition now or if I transitioned at 10. I don't have the same chemicals in my body. I don't have the same, just what all of the things that make a woman what a woman is and a man what a man is. It doesn't fucking matter what you do. You will not know what that person is. It doesn't matter how much I sympathize with you having cancer. I can't sit there and tell you that I know what it's like to have cancer unless I literally had cancer.
Yeah.
You would tell me, shut the fuck up, quit trying to act like you know what I went through. You would feel disrespected by me trying to act like I'm going through what you're going through. You'd be like, I thank you for your sympathy and like for your encouraging words, but you don't know. You don't know. So that's the same fucking thing with like gender affirming. It's like, you can feel however you want. You can feel however you want. You want to be a man, go be a man. You want to act like a man, act like a man. You want to act like a woman, act like a woman. That's fine. You can act like that. It's all about your mind anyways. Like they're saying, no, you just change your mind. So until you change and cut off your body parts, maybe wait to do that and just live in the way that you want to perceive the world. You want to be fucking Derek instead of fucking Denise?
Yeah.
Go be that. Go dress like a dude. Nobody's telling you that you can't buy fucking Levi 501s and wear a fucking, a white tee or and wear Chucks and wear a fucking snapback. Like, and cut your hair, and nobody's telling you can't do that. Nobody's telling you that, oh, you can't go out in public and wear a fucking sundress if that's what you want to do as a man that wants to be a woman. You want to grow out your hair. You have that ability. You have that privilege. You could shave off your facial hair. You could become more feminine, paint your fucking nails, put on makeup. It's accessible across the board. The only difference is you're not mutilating your fucking body. It's if you want to affirm your own ideas of what you are, do it in your head, which is what you're doing anyways. So that's where I'm like, no,
that's a good counter.
Yeah, you'll never fucking know. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. Go transition. You won't know anything different than before you transition because you will only know what you know because that's just who you fucking are.
Yeah, I just wanted to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, sorry.
Because I knew it would get you all riled up.
Yeah. No, but like people will look at that and be like, that's unreasonable. And it's like, no, it's the most reasonable. That is the most logical. Like that is the way that it fucking is. But at the same time, I'm not telling you that, oh, you're a man, be a man. It's like, no, be whatever you want. If you want to go through surgery and do all that shit, all I'm saying is because I love humans and I love people, I would just say what a parent would say to their child before getting a tattoo. Think about it. Maybe do all the other things, dressing up and whatever it is. Maybe do all of that.
See how it feels.
Yes. Yeah. Take the car for a test drive before you buy it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. You got nothing but time. But people get like this, like, fucking gotta rush into it. I have to go get it now. I have to do it now. I gotta do this. Like, I don't have time to wait. And it's like, you're bypassing your logical thinking by being so captured and obsessed by an idea that you have to do it. And that is a spectrum that goes across all things, business ideas, buying certain things, moving in with a partner that you just met or getting married when you just met them. All of those things in fucking synchronicity, every single one of those things always tend to end up in failure because logic has to catch up. And then when it does, you start looking around being like, oh, I fucked up. Like, I should have not moved in with her. We barely met. She's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have got this car. It looked great from the outside, but now the engine is fucked up and I can't afford to fix it. Now it just sits in my driveway. I shouldn't have started that business. I had no plan. And now I can't afford to have employees. And now I'm going under and now I'm in debt. All of these things that we just like are so like, oh, I got to go get it. End up being bad. Now I got to go get a tattoo removal because I got fucking pussy eater tattooed on my upper lip. And then you're like,
that too.
Yeah, then you're like, I shouldn't have done that. But in the moment, you're like, man, that's the best idea. All I'm saying is that maybe doing this shit to your body is the same fucking thing.
Pussy.
It's fucking.
That'd be a fire tattoo.
Dude, look it up. It's a tattoo, man.
No, I don't want to look at it. That's. Oh, fuck. That's so funny.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't get clipped. People will come for me, and that's okay. But where I stand is just like my love for everybody. I just want everybody to be cool. I'm just putting caution to the wind. Like, it is what it is, man. But I think you protect the children. Like, yeah, I protect the kids, man. And being like ideology and being captured by systems, whether it's red or it's blue, it's like, it's not good. It's not good for anybody. Like, you should be cautious to put your feet in concrete, you know, and letting it set in one side or the other, and then being like, well, I'm here now and this is it. This is just where it's going to be, whether it's good or bad, you know. And then like this, it's like we are all in the same fucking boat, right? And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll poke holes in their own boat and then yell at their captain for why their boat is sinking. And they're poking the holes in the boat because of their hate for him. And then they want to blame him. God, whoever your leader is, like Trump, whatever. Like, people hate him so much, they'll poke holes in their own boat just to blame him for why it's sinking. Not taking any accountability that it's the hate that you're pushing forth onto other people that have opposing opinions and ideas than you as being terrible. But it's like, if you looked in the mirror and look at the way that you're talking to people and the way that you're acting towards people is fucking terrible. It's like, we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same fucking country. We all have to live with this. We all have to live and unite and be together. We don't have to have ideas that align all the time. Like, we don't. And that's okay. Maybe we don't talk about politics. Maybe you think the way that you think, you vote the way that you vote. But at the end of the day, it's like, we got to have respect and love for one another because we're all in the same boat. And we got to make sure this motherfucker floats. We got to make sure it floats. And a lot of that is accountability. And a lot of that is just saying, like, hey, it is what it is. We went through a terrible, fucking, what's it called? The last 4 years.
Pandemic.
Yeah. We went through that. And it was like, the pandemic, at least people weren't necessarily, I mean, other than the whole like getting vaxxed and masking and stuff like that. It's like, if you weren't willing to do it, even though, like, it's funny how many people were like, you have to do it. You have to. I told everybody it was fucking bullshit from the beginning, and everybody, it was like fear mongering and this and that and divisive.
Regret it.
Yeah.
I regret getting it. Because all of a sudden, all these health problems, man. I'm
not going to say I'm the fucking, I know, but I know. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, I just have a bullshit meter and a distrust for a lot of like what's happening in the government. And I'm like, dude, this is all horse shit. Like, people were like, oh, if I get it, I'm going to die. I got it. And I was over it in 3 days. Granted, some people did die. Some people were smoking cigarettes every day. Some people were overweight. Some people had underlying health conditions that were terrible, that they would have died if they got the pneumonia or a cold. And therefore they died. A lot of people died off being put on ventilators, which hospitals were incentivized to do and get more money by putting people on ventilators. Then their bodies shut down and couldn't breathe on their own. And those people fucking died when they were taken off of it. And they accounted it for a COVID-related death because it was related to COVID, but it wasn't from COVID. It was from the ventilator. But they fucking just compiled that all into that. You know how many fucking people committed suicide versus people that died from COVID, that actually died from the actual COVID, and compared to the people that died from killing themselves or fentanyl overdoses because they relapsed because they were stuck in their house and they went back to doing drugs, or people that just ended their own life because they were so isolated from their family and couldn't talk to nobody or see anybody, and they needed that and they couldn't get it. Like, and that they all just looped out all into saying it was COVID related. It's like, it's such a disservice to everybody. And then they're rushing into putting this fucking gene mutation or altering fucking vaccine mRNA. made by 3 different companies, and some of them were different than others, and giving people blood clots and spike proteins in their blood and
cancer,
cardio problems, cancers, and then doctors not injecting you the right way, and knowing that whenever they put it into your arm, they're supposed to pull the needle back to make sure it's not in a blood vessel. So people were just gambling. If it went into your blood vessel, you were more likely to get a fucking blood clot or spike proteins and get cancers, versus where if it didn't, it went into your muscle tissue, you were probably going to be sick, but you're probably okay. Like, you know how much of that people were just like getting 4 and 5 and 3 and fucking however many boosters. People are still getting boosters to this day.
Yeah.
Telling me when I go to see my fucking UCSF clinic, have you got your flu shot, your da-da-da-da-da, and then your COVID vaccine booster? We really recommend you get it. I'm like, dude, suck my fucking dick, bro. That shit pisses me off. I'm like, y'all know better. Y'all know better. Like it fucking disgusts me, dude. I'm like, we're 5 years, almost 6 years out, and y'all are still pushing this bullshit. Still pushing it. Still trying to convince people that that's the right thing to do and that they're going to be better off. I'm like, bitch, I got cystic fibrosis. I got COVID and I was cool. I take care of myself. I took my vitamins. I did what I needed to do. I'm in the gym. I'm being healthy. I'm good. And if I died, so be it. But I'm going to do it on my terms and with what I have to deal with, and not by going and taking all this bullshit, you know? And it's like, it's just fucked up. It really is.
It is fucked
you
up.
know?
Like, I regret getting the vaccine because like a year after I got not even a year, 2 months after I got the vaccine, I was in the hospital 6 days, kidney failure.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden.
Out of nowhere. I remember you telling me,
you're
like, fuck, I think I should stop drinking alcohol, my side. And then you're like, boop, and
Yeah, and it's not even like I drank alcohol
no,
a lot.
I know.
It was like once
But you were
a
just
month.
like thinking anything. You're like, fuck, like did I like how I fucked myself up? Like, is it catching
Yeah.
up? Because we did our fair share of drinking, pal.
I mean, back in the day we did, but like not enough for fucking kidney failure.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It probably was from, I'm sure, from that. But yeah, it's fucked up, dog.
Yeah, it's like after I got vaccinated, kidney failure, 6 days hospital, then a year after that. No, not even a year. A couple years after that, fucking cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Stage 4. Like how?
Yeah.
And a otherwise perfectly healthy individual. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And like my mom too, she got cancer again for the second time now. It's like I don't know if that vaccine directly causes it or if it
Makes you more
activates
prone.
something like
Yeah.
a genetic predisposition you might have already had. Like, does it turn it on?
Right.
You know, whatever gene that is, because it's
Right.
an mRNA. It's still like new medical. You know, there's not much research on it. Like it's all new. You
Yeah,
know,
they
what I'm saying?
fast tracked it.
Yeah.
As quick as they could.
There's
out of
no
nowhere, it
long-term
was like-
longitudinal studies about it. It's just kind of like, oh, here you go. You guys are the first ones.
Yeah, and then when they find out that it's no different than a fucking advanced cold, more along the lines of like a flu or walking pneumonia, which is what they call long COVID. I think it's like, bro, what the fuck?
I don't know what's going on. No
Goofy
more.
motherfuckers, dude. But
All I know is I'm very upset with the healthcare system through living through it, and I'm sure you are too through living through it. And
Yeah.
I just want peace, man.
yeah, I don't blame you, brother. I think that's a good way to bring it home.
Yeah, but I think that should wrap it up for today. I feel like otherwise we're just gonna keep spewing
no,
negativity.
No, I mean it's sometimes it could be a little on the darker side. It's not meant to be negative as it is to be just being vocal about the things that are happening and the things that are realistic. And I know every time we have ideas and thoughts that of topics that we want to bring up, like the nightclub days and the LA
We still haven't
days.
got to any of
I
those.
know, because then it's always like every week you're like, hey, like I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it this week. XYZ just happened.
Yeah,
with
some
the
bullshit
fam. I'm
always
like,
happens.
Damn, bro. And then it's like it doesn't feel right to make the podcast completely lighthearted and like nothing's happening because it's real life shit. And then to be able to talk about, what's going on with the current state of your health and the family and also the things that we've gone through in the medical field and a lot of the people that you talk to online that are looking for this information or, want to get mad at me or whatever. Like I'm here for it. I mean, at the end of the day, I know my heart. I know where I stand and how much I love everybody. And I know you know that. And there's a lot of things that I'm sure we do agree with and don't agree with. And there's things that like maybe we look at from a different point of view and different light, but we've always been able to have conversations from not like a I'm right perspective, but more of a like a where do you come to this consensus and why? And neither of us are willing to die on any hill. And I think that I hope that our conversations, even though like 90% of everything we do agree with, it's like, let's say we don't, but I'm just saying like to be able to have fluid, open conversations about things that it's where you can push forward. And I hope that other people can see that like, you don't have to just be like, this is what I am like, and I'm only going to think this way. And if you don't think this way, or if you have opposing opinions or concerns or ideas, then you're a piece of shit. And it's like, that's such a bad way of looking at it because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all in this fucking boat together, dude.
Yep.
And if we could just make and find a way that we can come together and make it float in the best way possible and do what we can for one another and lift each other up and just to try and sympathize and understand. And I get it too, that there's a lot of fucking negative, bad people out there that like, they just are so unhappy with maybe themselves or their the current state of life and the way that things are. And they just want to look at all the negativity and all the bad. And they just want somebody to blame at all times. It's like, I don't say I agree with it, but I understand. But I do think that there's also a choice there to where it's like, okay, you could think about things differently, look at things differently, and just try and push forward and realize that it's not everybody's fault, And hopefully we can finally get to a place like that.
I hope so, man. I just want the world to come together. One love, one unity, one race. That's what it is.
Yeah, just a planet full of people trying to figure it out, man, until the aliens and AI
kill us all.
That's
That's
such a bad way to end it. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in if you made it this far. you know, all of the prayers and positivity for Shock and his family, and I hope to see you guys on the next one, and hopefully we have a change of course into more of a positive direction and being able to talk
I
about
hope
some other
so.
fun stories and things that
Yeah.
you know, we have a plethora of those, and I don't want this to always be grim, and I hope it doesn't come off that way. I hope you find some information that you know, either aligns with you, makes you kind of think about things differently, or you know, all about perspectives. So thank y'all. I love you guys.
Love you guys, man.
And until next time.
Alrighty.
See y'all.
Go.
Peace.
Do. Aha.